exactly. But I just thought it was really horrible this morning listening to Patty's show and hearing, I'm not going to call the caller out, but hearing this guy, just ludicrously throw her out when I know for a fact, because I was actually with JP at the time, when she was concerned about how his revelations might impact, question to him was, "Are you okay?" And then she supported him in his efforts.
Knowing this was discussed yesterday on my program and other programs, you also unfortunately bring this upon Senator Amanda Shelton's office, and we have not sent her any questions. Have you spoken to her about your plan of action? And
No. I've pretty much kept my work with Senator Shelton separate. She knows nothing about this. This really caught her off guard.
But also with this, what if that was my son in those pictures? What if that was your son in those pictures? All of this hoopla, having an affair, up the ass, all of that. You know what? Our governor, Leon Guerrero, has proven her insufficiencies in helping the people of Guam. She's ran away from us, asking questions. Why do these rich people get their taxes silenced? They don't have to pay, or they only have to pay a fraction of it, and then they get major contracts. She has not helped the children who can't afford uniforms.
I know.
I just want to apologize. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, especially the congressman. I wanted this, but I'm angry. I'm angry because of the bullshit.
Hey, imagine how the congressman feels.
The families, the wife. Imagine even John Paul's edits. He wrote his comment, and then he wants to edit it and put someone's husband's name there. That man, that husband,
it's service matter.
He is a veteran. You just shamed him. You think this is a joke? People's lives are in danger. I hope the feds come in there and fucking chew some ass. I hope they freaking worry if they dot their I and cross their T's.
So the congressman.
But I knew this from the get-go. Even the person that came here telling me we need to move on this and get JP on our show. Fuck you. I am completely ashamed with our leaders.
So the BPT of 5%, do you think that can already be brought back to?
I have made
4%?
my position about that, and I have said that I don't want it rolled back. I'd like to see what fiscal year 2020 and fiscal year 2021 gives, because as a result of what has happened, we were able to actually also close the gap as a result of President Trump's Jobs Act legislation that took away about $68 million from our general fund. So those are the kinds of things that I am really looking at, Heidi, before, and I, like I have said, I have spoken to many business leaders also, they are okay with the 5%.
Will that stay at least until 2020, fiscal year 2021? So 2022, there might be a
I would like
consideration.
for it to stay, and I'd like for it to stay forever.
I find no issue with it because, I just got back from the state auditors conference and my jaw dropped because the average salary right now that all state auditors are paying is $50,000. I asked this, I said, what? Straight out of college, no experience, $50,000. Most of their management team are upwards of $100,000. And
But once that $50,000 salary is
I
straight
have
up,
no qualms
wait,
with
let's-
paying that. I think it's worth it.
the additional bonus on top of the increase that you're now getting because you managed to get through the legislature are concurrence that we're going to adopt the Kerry study. And for the office with the 10 employees that you have or whatever number you have, you need 60,000 for the certification or pay, or is that's in the event somebody else gets
that's already funded. That's already funded. That's already in our, that's, if you turn to the schedule, we're talking 60,264 is the certification pay for 1, 2, 3, 6 individuals.
Okay. I have nothing further. We stand in recess until...
Mr. Speaker, if I just may say, you and I both are very passionate. And I'll miss this exchange. Thank you.
I will need an additional $70,000 just to pay for the certification pay for those on my staff that are qualified. It wasn't in my budget request because I didn't ask for it. But if this legislature is going to leave it in the budget, then I will have to comply and provide them with their certification adjustment, and that would cost the office an additional $70,000. So I just point that out. But I can't tell you how wonderful the 5 Auditor 3s that stepped up to take over the management team of the office has been, and how smoothly it has run since then. They've taken over, and I feel so bad that they can't get one. We can't reclassify 3 of them, 4 of them. I mean, because everything, all promotions and increments were suspended during the fiscal year. So I can't do any reclassifications and give them increments as minuscule as it is by comparison. But it is the Office of Public Accountability, and we have to live within the law, and we will live within the law. And if it is provided to us, we'll provide it to them. If it's not, then we'll have to tell them that it's not going to be provided.
Well, thank you very much. We have invited the nation's, our great nation's, newly elected governors and some really terrific people. They're going to do a wonderful job. So I thought what I'd do is go around the room and maybe you could just introduce yourselves. It's an honor to have you all. Christy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the invitation to be here today. I'm Christy Nome, the governor-elect in South Dakota, farmer, rancher, small business owner, served in our state legislature in leadership, and spent the last 8 years in Congress representing and fighting for the state of South Dakota. So thank you.
Kevin Stitt, newly elected governor of Oklahoma, and excited to be here, and it was wonderful getting the phone call from you after our primary victory.
It was a great victory. Great job.
Dogs will be dogs.
Dogs will be dogs. And it is a dog-eat-dog world.
It is.
Yeah.
And it looks like Mama let that dog out of the house, out of the doghouse a little too early.
What dog?
The stray dog. The Duffy stray dog. You know what's the name of my dog?
What?
CNG. It's the name of my dog.
What does N stand for? Never mind.
Yeah. Hello, buenas, Guam. I'm Johnny Rosario.
I'm Troy Torres. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. It is September 8th. No, September 7th.
I think it's September 7th.
It is, right?
Yeah.
September 7th on this beautiful island of Guam.
There was, according to Civil Defense, an island-wide power outage. And what had happened was Cabris tripped. And so GPA had to bring up the backup generators. And so they started to restore island-wide power village by village. We got power like 20 minutes ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we went live earlier on a, off the cuff. What do you call it? What's the word for it? Like
by the hip?
Spontaneous?
Yeah, spontaneous.
An impromptu. There you go. Impromptu.
Oh, thanks, Prim.
Yes, thank you. Si juice maasi.
Si juice.
We're going to get to the Beautificaton task force in just a second.
And yes, we are talking about you, Ton Mendiola. Okay? Big Tone.
So we did an impromptu phone call to a corrupt police officer by the name of Elliot, last name Elliot. His phone number is, if you guys ever want to give him a call and ask him why he's such an asshole, his number is 988-5876. Now, if that phone number ever calls you, don't answer it unless you're willing to tell him to fuck off. Well, anyway, you can see that on Kandit's page. There was maybe like a less than 10 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it was a little more than 10 minutes because we did more than just call Officer Elliott about a corrupt. And we're gonna bring you some breaking news tonight, thanks to some police officer who works at Government House who's probably in a lot of trouble right now. But it was regarding the arrest of somebody who the Attorney General's office looked at the evidence and was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Mm-hmm. And so just let the person go. So we wanted to ask that police officer why he did what he did, because we just know he's corrupt, and he didn't want to. He hung up on us. We get that a lot these days. But our power went off like 10 minutes right after that, and we were like, they're targeting us. But then we found out it's an island-wide. It was an island-wide thing, so we're not going to be so conspiratorial about that. I wanted to play for you guys this 20th Century Fox intro that, right? Don't lie. When you go to the movies, you're obnoxious like that, right? Every now and then.
Is it working now?
Which one?
The
No, the scan converter's not up, so I can't cast it. So I can't cast anything tonight. But that's okay. Anyway, you can catch that on my personal Facebook page if you want. It's just it's a funny thing. And then my cousin, my favorite and most beautifulest cousin in the whole wide world, Mona Silva Tyron, tagged me in this, and I really wish I could play it. We can't. Tagged me in this symphony orchestra thing. Where
It's on our page.
It's on our page.
You posted it on the page.
You guys have to watch it. It's super funny. We actually have real news tonight. So let's get straight to that.
And our top story.
So KOAM, we were gonna break it, and then the damn power went off. KOAM ended up breaking the story about how.
We said a little bit on our live about it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of broke it, but anyway, we're just gonna share the knowledge here because everybody should know about how the Island-wide Beautification Task Force
It's run by the Lieutenant Governor.
Run by MAGA Faga. Was talking shit about Congressman Mike Nicholas on Facebook. So, man, we can't cast to the screen, huh?
We cannot.
Damn. Okay. I
But
wish we could show
also-
this to you, but maybe we can put it up to the camera or something.
You can go to the monitor, Chelo.
Go to the monitor. Okay.
Behind you.
Oh, I can change it. I can change it. Apple, whatever.
HDMI 1.
Is that plugged in?
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay. So HDMI 1, you have the remote over there.
Give us a second. Input.
So, there, in the Organic Act, right, the lieutenant governor is the person who becomes governor whenever the governor is not able to be governor. So when the governor is whatever, right, and then in Guam law, and he's also the keeper of the Guam seal, whatever that means, and then under Guam law, he has a couple other responsibilities. One is he's the director of the Guam State Clearinghouse. That's for the federal grants and stuff. And the other is he's the person in charge of the Island-wide Beautification Task Force.
You mean beautiful
No.
Catan.
Well,
So I was searching. I was going all over Facebook searching for this so I can look at the comments. And because I got a message, it says, somebody better explain to the LT governor's staff that they should switch back to their personal profile when bashing MSN instead of using the official GovGuam IBTF page. Not only were they bashing Congressman Mike Nicholas, but they were also bashing a small business owner.
Pika Farron.
Yes.
And Lenny Farron.
Yes.
And hold on, let me bring these up. Give me one. Hang in.
Keep on going. They're not them.
Yeah,
Go
I
up.
know. That's the bad people.
Yeah. There you go. Up one more. Should be above that. There you go.
Is it the what a shame?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Download. Same.
So how I know that this is the same group is because Pika Farron is my family. So there's a group of them that are going after us and the congressman and anybody that chose the high road. Did I say
not
that
like
right?
the high road. I mean, the moral high ground. I mean,
whatever.
You know what we're saying.
I'm not high, so I don't give a.
Not the kind that you skate on, or the ice kicky road. Hold on, because I don't know if it's like, okay.
You just have to connect to your Apple TV.
And then Apple TV. There we go.
Oh man, they can't really see it.
Hold on, I'll just increase the. There we go. See this? Okay. So, Congressman Mike Nicholas posted. I think this is his response to the JP Manuel stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he puts up that post, And then Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio's Island-wide Beautification Task Force, Guam, just starts talking shit about the congressman. What a shame! Exclamation point. Now, the Lieutenant Governor's office, or the Governor's office, has since recoiled. Now, these guys can't get a freaking break. Like, they just make mistake after mistake. So they said this was a mistake.
There's plenty people that are handling the Facebook.
They're going to get to the bottom of it. They're going to put in some management policies. This is Facebook. This is not
And
difficult.
just to let you guys know, if you guys handle a Facebook business account or page, it shows you, especially if you're part of that account, they're lying. The governor's office is lying to you.
They know exactly
because
who
they
did it.
know exactly who posted it.
I wonder if it was Josh Tenorio. Anyway, so when Johnny was searching for the island-wide beautification task force, I'm sorry. Let's dial back here for a second regarding the kids on the small bus.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we felt like we were picking on
the politically retarded kids. So, I mean, it's just been one thing after another. The governor's office just can't do anything right.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even get their page rolls on Facebook correct, so that they have a super screw up like this, where they're just letting Congressman Mike St. Nicholas know that he's
Who
got
the fuck
no
is
solidarity.
behind?
Yeah.
You guys are retarded.
Yeah, you guys are fucking dumb. And all you did was confirm to the congressman that the governor's office is behind these attacks against him. You fucking idiots.
But Troy, remember what they said.
They said they have nothing to do with it.
No. Remember what they said. The truth is on their side.
Who said that? The
J.B.
governor's
Manuel.
office? Oh. Well, they're all the
Keep
same.
it coming. Keep it coming. Por favor. We love it. And we don't even have to do anything.
And they were and his supporters were saying like, oh, this was just him.
Now they want a polygraph test.
What they need is a fucking spelling test, and I'll tell you why. Because Johnny was searching for island-wide beautification task force. And let me we should expect more from our leaders because they're our leaders. So you would think that they would be able to spell at least beyond fourth grade capacity. Like, take for instance the word beautification. Can you guys see that screen? We're just take your red pens to your screens and underline or circle the misspelled word. It's kind of probably the most operative word in the name of the task force. So so this is my theory.
Grammarly. I got one word for you. Grammarly.
My theory is that this is actually devoted to Anthony Ton Mendiola, because the only person on this island who is leading an effort of like a task force type effort to actually beautify the island, it ain't the Island-Wide Beautification Task Force. It is the Island-Wide Beautificaton Mendiola Task Force.
So Kandit posted this on the page, and of course, me being me, I choose to tag the lieutenant governor. And as of press time, how do they do it? As of press time,
Yes.
that we went live. It was changed. They corrected it. Thank you.
So I guess
Thank you.
it wasn't really meant for Beautificaton Mendiola. It's supposed to be beautification. I mean, it does say in the law that it's called the Beautification Task Force. So they at least they changed that. They have since gone into the Facebook settings, and they should know by now who was the one who posted that.
They know. They're lying to you
They
guys.
should tell us.
Yes.
They should tell us. Just, we never ever want to hear anything from the governor's office criticizing anybody's grammar work.
That is physically that is physically impossible, Troy.
for the fiscal year, in this new fiscal year, oh my God, we have some dumb people running the island. How do I get
And we
off
have
of-
some cockroaches too.
How do I stop the turn?
Oh, let me turn it back. What? Unless you need the screen still?
I wanted to play that thing actually.
Okay, play it.
I know, but I don't know what's below this. Hold. Hang on.
There, I changed it. Let me
Okay,
just,
okay,
I can
good.
change it back when you're ready.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
because we
think-
have sources, guys.
And they won't all be happy if their names appear on the screen.
Ready?
Ready,
Don't play
Chelu.
yet. Wait, time out.
Is the volume up on that?
It has to be on your computer, the volume.
No, it might be.
No, it's the TV. It's the TV volume.
Wait.
But I think it is up because Tammy was the last one to use it, and he watches this Tagalog thing
There.
like loud. Okay.
Okay, there.
Ready?
Yeah.
This is mainly how we feel about detractors and people who run away from the cameras and think that Candid News is somehow going to go away. Bravo, Hollywood. Bravo. Anyway.
Look like an ass cracking meeting.
It like something on Mariana's dirty laundry, right? So there was, what was that other thing? We don't have a lot tonight, but there is a main story that we have regarding the University of Guam. Wasn't there something else like related to the Magafaga or like?
Yes,
What was it?
the two sources plus the one. We confirmed it.
Oh yeah, you want to do the
No,
honors?
no, you.
Why?
Better you.
Oh, okay. So we have it was actually 3 plus 1. We now have a fourth source who is confirmed independently with an FBI agent that Carlo Branch is in fact one of the targets of that FBI investigation stemming from Congressman Mike Nicholas's January complaint to the FBI regarding extortion and blackmail. So Carlo, if I were you, I'd stop doing all that, like, voodoo, small bus strategic planning for the legislature, and I'd get on my freedom. I'd get on that freedom bus, and I don't know, maybe you should like talk to the FBI and tell them everything that you did and like who are the other people involved in it, in order for you to avoid criminal liability, because you're exposed, buddy. And let's just, we should probably be more clear with the people about who Carlo Branch is and what he does. He is the executive director of the legislature. He's employed by Senator Regine Lee because Senator Regine Lee is the chairwoman of the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee runs legislative operations. But the reason he's there is there are a lot of dumb senators, okay? And they need help. And Carlo is a very smart guy. And like he knows how to maneuver through things politically. The problem is that he only ever knows how to do political things. So some of these dumb senators actually have, they have good hearts and they want to do nice things for the people or whatever. Mm-hmm. Carlo will make it work to the extent that there's some sort of political benefit to. Cello, the people asked us to stop putting up those pictures.
Wait, one more.
So, Carlo has got himself in a world of hot water with this Mike Nicholas thing.
Yes.
And it really only is because Congressman Mike Nicholas had the courage to report this in January.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this whole extortion, blackmail thing of the congressman ain't the only illegal thing that Carlo Branch has done in the name of politics. And so this is going to lead to good things, and if I were Carlo, I would totally talk to the FBI because other people are involved in this whole thing. Very clearly, the lieutenant governor's office, at the very least, is involved in this, and I just wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if this went all the way up to the governor's chief of staff. This attack on Mike St. Nicholas.
Oh, don't
extortion
forget
and
our,
bribery.
our phone call and what happened and who doesn't live at the governor's house.
Oh,
and
that's the other piece of news. The breaking news. We have breaking news. No shit.
maybe we should play that video just so the people can.
Oh yeah. That's from here,
It's
right?
towards the end, yeah. It's our last post on our page.
No, the last post is the power one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? GPA, good job in getting the power restored right away. But
Thank you.
By the way, yeah, that was pretty fast.
That one right there.
Man, my hair is all fucked up in this. I didn't know what
Towards
my
the end. I'm gonna connect it to the.
Oh yeah, can you connect it?
Oh, sorry.
Called Yogurtland accidentally. Here we go.
Oh, hello, Officer Chong. May I speak with the governor, please? It's government house, right? Yeah. Should this say government house? This is Troy Torres, the Kandit News. Oh, I didn't know that. She told everyone in the public that she stays at government house. Oh, so she told a lie to the public? There's renovations being done to government house? Oh, we got more than a few function parties. Oh, do you happen to know how much these renovations are costing the taxpayers? Well, thank you very much, Officer John, for the information. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hot fucking damn, you heard it first on Kandit News. The governor is...
So that was Officer Craig Chong. Probably by now former police officer Craig Chong. He wasn't supposed to tell us that information, I'm pretty sure of
Craig Chung
that.
is they were in the.
Oh yeah, he was one of the party animals inside the Fusion Center at Civil Defense the night of the fireworks.
The night they celebrated themselves.
Yes, the night they patted themselves on the back for.
And the night they had a potluck by
Island Cuisine.
Island Cuisine, the potluck.
Job well done, guys, for the deficit of $126,000 in the carnival. So yes, he was there at that party, and he was with Kathy Flores and the selfie inside the Fusion Center where they were not supposed to be. Officer Chong also was not supposed to have told us that information, I'm pretty sure. But breaking news, government house, well, first of all, the governor doesn't live at government house like we were told that she was living at government house. And apparently your tax dollars, your 25% increase in the business privilege tax that has affected all of us, and the governor not wanting to eliminate that increase forever. That money is going to renovate her mansion at Fort, what is it? What's the name of that place? San Ramon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you, I'm a little surprised that Government House is being renovated, because Government House was just renovated some like 4 or 5 years ago. There's nothing wrong with Government House. It's a palace, as a matter of fact. It's a mansion. It has marble floors, granite countertops. The carpeting is relatively new in the residence quarters upstairs. This place has been renovated several times. I don't know why the governor wants to renovate Government House, but then the other question that we need to ask ourselves is she receiving a stipend for living in her own house, if that is where she's living? And don't think that it can't be done, because it's been done before. When Governor Carl Gutierrez was not living in Government House, he was being paid a $5,000 a month stipend to live in his house in Agania Heights. And apparently it's some rule somewhere that it's allowed to happen. So we tried to call it, the reason there's 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in that live stream is that we were trying to call Janela Carrera to find out more about this and to see, well, exactly how our tax dollars are being spent for the comfort and pleasure of the governor of Guam. while the people at Guam have to suffer. It's just
Well,
so
on
sickening.
January 6, 2019, governor-elect. This is the governor after she was elected. Okay? And this is on the post by Lainey Walker. Governor-elect Lulian Guerrero will reside at the governor's official residence, the government house in Agana Heights. According to Tony Babauta, who has been named chief of staff for Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor-elect Josh Tenorio. On Thursday, Babauta said assessments are being made on needed repairs to the house. We visited the residence and got a briefing on some of the repairs that needed to be done. I think we're going to await what the costs would be for those repairs that are going to be needed and go from there, he said. While Leon Guerrero visited the residence Thursday, the Guam Daily Post was told a carpet installer was at the residence to take measurements. There are some structural concerns and plumbing concerns. Those are the two main problem areas that they have assessed so far, Babauta said. We were told some repairs were made in the past, some years ago, and it didn't seem like the size of piping is consistent throughout the house, so it causes some plumbing issues during rainfall or if 3 or more faucets are on.
That's a lie. That was already resolved years ago.
Babauta said he does not believe the cost of repairs will prohibit the incoming first family from moving in.
Well, there you have it, folks. Well, I will bet you that the total cost of these renovations will outpace by far the total cost that every public school parent had to pay for uniforms at the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you. This is where your money's going, folks. This is why your tax refunds aren't on time. This is why your taxes are more. This is why there's not enough money to hire police officers, why they don't have enough to pay for more specialists at GMH, so they have to tax Dr. Jolene again with all of these other responsibilities and roles. This is why your kids, they don't take home books to study so that they can know how to arrive at their math answer or to figure out their math equation.
Mm-hmm.
This is why your kids don't have laptops or iPads that they get to take home like most classrooms in the first world. This is why there isn't enough money to fill potholes where they need to be filled, and so your tires keep breaking. Issa just fucked up my roll just right now. Issa! Come here, baby, so the people can see you. Come. Ain't she cute? Look at that. The hair little thing. All right. So, very disturbing news. We should find out how much the cost of these renovations are. We just did bring up the issue of tax refunds. And Johnny was telling me that some research that she did into the budget shows that $20 million of that $69 million in Section 30 funding already has been appropriated. It's earmarked already for debt service on the bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever find out which bonds they are?
No, let me try to pull up that article.
Okay.
I read it last night.
So, that means only $49 million is left over. That possibly all of it will go to the payment of tax refunds. If all of it goes to the payment of tax refunds, if you divide $49 million by the average $2,500 tax refund, that's some 19,200 tax refunds that would be distributed. And by their spreadsheet of the number of processed and unpaid refunds and the number of unprocessed returns, I think they'll get to April 15th when the money comes next week. So as long as they process, as long as they do their job and they're actually getting overtime, the employees or revenue tax are getting overtime to basically burn the midnight oil and process those unprocessed returns. I think just by looking at the numbers that they'll make it to April 15th with the $49 million. Now, whether they'll get over that April 15th, I don't think that they're not going to wipe out the accumulated debt of tax refunds just with $49 million. They're gonna have to rely on cash collections over the next few months, and they're just gonna continue to meet that 6-month deadline, like by the skin of their teeth. That's what's gonna happen. I didn't realize when we were first discussing this that $20 million had been dedicated to debt service already.
Mm-hmm. I can't find it, but I wanted to bring up another article in the Post. It's by the Daily Post staff, 23 hours ago. UOG Docomo test cameras with AI.
Ew.
For the first time, artificial intelligence or AI cameras are being tested at the University of Guam Office of Information Technology under a collaboration with NTT Docomo Inc. through its Docomo Pacific 5G Open Partner Program, UOG announced Friday. The program provides global businesses and organizations with the latest 5G information, test environments, and partner workshops. One AI technology involves learning how to automatically spot suspicious behavior through a closed-circuit television feed. The other recognizes and tracks who is present and when.
For real? That sounds like a real invasion of privacy.
This is the reason why Hong Kong is doing their protests. This is one of the reasons.
What the fuck is wrong with the OG?
I don't know, but...
and of course it's Docomo.
For a second project, IT staff are testing the PLEN Cube, a camera robot specifically programmed to track and remember people who cross its path.
Damn.
A UOG press release states, the facial recognition technology developed by the Japanese startup company Plen Robotics Inc. involves the use of a smart camera and wide-ranging automation skills, including voice commands, UOG stated.
Fuck that. They're proud of that?
I don't know, but this kind of scares me.
That's like a real, that's an invasion of privacy, for sure.
Same shit that Facebook is doing too.
Facebook and like the...
Whenever you're tagged.
Oh yeah, can you tell us more about that again? Can you speak loud so everyone can hear you? Yes.
When you're tagged, it'll wherever you're at. If you're tagged there, it'll automatically tag where you're at. Your location.
Based on your picture?
Mm-hmm.
Based on your
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some Total Recall shit or something.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Or 1984 George Orwell or whatever. You know, like
no.
the
What is that?
government-
The spy guy. What is that? Jason Bourne or Bourne?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that's like that shit.
Huh?
Big Brother, yeah. We don't like Big Brother. We hardly even like the police, except like the good ones.
But can you imagine? Just yesterday, a police officer arrested somebody who was a witness on false charges. So the AG had to release her today with no charges.
Officer Elliott
brought against her.
It's like a police state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the police, they can do anything they want because they have a badge.
It's the same thing that happened to you, Cello.
Mm-hmm.
They arrested you and they released you the very next day because there was no real charges.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody needs to hold these police officers accountable.
Where's the Attorney General?
Where is that Elliott's boss?
CID?
Shouldn't he have a boss?
I don't know. We should get his cell phone number and call him live on Kandit. Ask him what's up. What's up, assholes? Why you gotta treat people like that?
Mm-hmm.
You know? How would you like it if we got into your personal life and exposed who you're sleeping with who's not your wife? You wouldn't like it, huh?
It might even be a man. Who knows?
The AG changed his name to Leave Out.
Leave Out?
Jealous said the Attorney General changed his name to Leave Out Camacho.
I don't know, people.
As long as he's not in.
I don't know. I feel like this is the beautification task force making those comments against Michael St. Nicholas. Guys.
Confirmation that they're in on it.
Yes, the in is in.
Yeah.
And this should piss a lot of people off. Because instead of worrying about the children, instead of taking care of helping people, it's so hard to live with groceries, with gas, and this is where their time is going, to attack the congressman who's trying to get, who's making the honest effort to pay the war claims, not lie about it. Okay? All of this, the governor saying she wants to pay it but can't pay it. They knew that. They knew that from the jump. And this is what we're dealing with. The money being paid to the for the security contracts, the grass cutting contracts, all at the carnival. That is corruption at its finest.
Yeah.
And they are doing it
In our faces.
and they don't give a shit. That I love how when we question them, they throw someone else under the bus. Angel Sablon said, "Don't ask me about this, you ask Robert Hoffman." Well, it looks like we'll be at Robert Hoffman's office on Monday to ask him. And then he's probably going to tell us we're going to have to go to the Lieutenant Governor's office or back to Angel Sablon.
Or to the Island-wide Beautification Task Force. Which, I mean, they spend time, think about this. They spend time bashing Mike St. Nicholas. They ain't spending any time helping Anthony Mendiola to actually beautify a park. You know?
And imagine just within that 2 months, that corruption that occurred. Imagine all the other corruption worth millions of dollars that is going on right under our noses.
Look at that $600 million GPA contract that the CCU just approved. All power bills. That's our power bills. They don't care about our power bills. Why do we elect rich people to understand things
What us
like
poor people are going through?
Yeah, like that a $400 power bill is just way too much money for a regular household to pay. You know, why do we expect 5 rich people on the Consolidated Commission on Utilities to understand that? They're just like, oh, the people can handle that. Let them eat cake. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, news on racism and corruption at the University of Guam.
Exactly, but I just thought it was really horrible this morning listening to Patty's show and hearing. I'm not going to call the caller out, but hearing this guy, just ludicrously throw her out when I know for a fact, because I was actually with JP at the time, when she was concerned about how his revelations might impact. Question to him was, "Are you okay?" And then she supported him in his efforts.
Knowing this was discussed yesterday on my program and other programs, you also unfortunately bring this upon Senator Amanda Shelton's office, and we have not sent her any questions. Have you spoken to her about your plan of action? And
No. I've pretty much kept my work with Senator Shelton separate. She knows nothing about this. This really caught her off guard.
But also with this, what if that was my son in those pictures? What if that was your son in those pictures? All of this hoopla, having an affair, up the ass, all of that. You know what? Our governor, Leon Guerrero, has proven her insufficiencies in helping the people of Guam. She's ran away from us, asking questions. Why do these rich people get their taxes silenced? They don't have to pay, or they only have to pay a fraction of it, and then they get major contracts. She has not helped the children who can't afford uniforms.
I know.
I just want to apologize. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, especially the congressman. I wanted this, but I'm angry. I'm angry because of the bullshit.
Hey, imagine how the congressman feels.
The families, the wife. Imagine even John Paul's edits. He wrote his comment, and then he wants to edit it and put someone's husband's name there. That man, that husband,
It's a service man, right?
he is a veteran. You just shamed him. You think this is a joke? People's lives are in danger. I hope the feds come in there and fucking chew some ass. I hope they freaking worry if they dot their I and cross their T's.
So the congressman.
But I knew this from the get-go. Even the person that came here telling me we need to move on this and get JP on our show. Fuck you. I am completely ashamed with our leaders.
Welcome back. And welcome back.
Thanks for hanging on. Hang on.
Is the screen too bright? Can you see this? So, the University of Guam is on its own a political battlefield, and the politics there That screeching that you're hearing is my dog Dumbo, who's being a little bitch right now, and every time that only when we're live does he ever do that, and I think it's because he's fucking with me. So I'm sorry about that noise. So, if you think politics in the local government is bad, you'd be disgusted by politics at the University of Guam. Let me just set some perspective here. In the 80s and 90s, the legislature and the university established a policy, an education policy, because at the time, UOG was made up mainly of mainland professors, as in they had to hire people from off island. There was a lot of teacher housing and stuff like that because we didn't have enough professors, no locally grown professors, so they created the Merit Scholarship and a couple of other scholarships. And the intention was to send high schoolers and university undergrads off island to complete their PhDs or their EDDs or whatever their doctoral degrees, so that they could come back to Guam, and part of the repayment of this whole scholarship thing was to teach on Guam. And so, I mean, by and large, the people who would participate in that would be Chamorros, Filipinos, those from the other islands in Micronesia. And so when a few years start to pass and it becomes, the fruits of that policy start to bear, the professors at UOG, the mainland professors basically, started to get upset. They felt that, the kingdoms that they had there were being encroached upon. And so things come to a pass. There was this very racist environment that existed at UOG. And I want you to think for a second here, all right? At the University of Guam, among their faculty, Chamorros and Micronesians and other Micronesians are considered as minorities. At the University of Guam. It's a thing. And so the majority population of professors started to complain about this. And it all comes to a head in the year 2000 when the Western Association of Schools and Colleges pays a visit to UOG, places the university on academic probation. And then the university's professors, their full-time professors, get involved in the response to WASC, which is very important in getting off academic probation at the time. I believe the UOG president at the time was Dr. Jose Nederdog, and he was retiring, and so there was a vacancy for president, and Dr. Judy Guthertz, who was the academic vice president, and she was in line to become the president, and then this big hoopla happens where the faculty who had controlled the university for so long in the faculty union, led by, at the time, Dr. Don Platt, and then interchanging over the years with Dr. Don Schuster, they lead, basically a revolt. And they gather up the Board of Regents with them. They convince them about making sure that things stay within the control of the faculty union over at UOG. Roy Suda becomes the acting president after Dr. Nederdog leaves, and then a board meeting was held, and this obscure candidate from Ohio who says that he has Guam roots, though no one can remember him whatsoever. He said he graduated from George Washington High School. No one remembers him. His name is Dr. Howard Allen. He comes in for a 6-year tenure, and that was prior to Dr. Robert Underwood being elected the UOG president. It was during this time, and it was during that 2000 WASC period when the faculty union got to, and a bunch of these full-time professors who had been leading the university got to give their input in bettering the university. That it's in black and white. in their recommendations to the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, they complain that about this policy that minority candidates for full professor tenure would possess only the minimum qualifications. And so they complain. And what they mean by minority candidates for full professor, they were talking about that policy about sending our kids off island so that they can get educated, and then they would basically be able to get a job at UOG as a professor in English, public administration, education, whatever, right? The mainland faculty despised it so much that they put it in black and white as an actual complaint to WASC that they had to deal with this influx of Chamorro, Filipino, Chukis, and I believe Khazarian, if I'm not mistaken, professors or candidates for full professor tenure over at the University of Guam. But it wasn't, so the term minority didn't just apply to, it wasn't just a racial thing, it was also a sexist thing, because the other minority group at the University of Guam then and now are women professors. And so Dr. Ron McNinch was maybe 4 years new to the job in the year 2000, and he thought that something was terribly wrong with, well, one, that statement that he read in the WASC report, and two, just what he saw, because he was a part of, as a faculty member, he was a part of the union at the time. And so he was privy to discussions that would happen within these committees. Now, we don't know what those discussions are, and that's because they're secretive, and we'll explain that in a second. But Dr. McNinch, he has a specialty expertise in human relations, human resources management, and in merit-based selection. So he has like this national recognition as a specialist. He conducts a study at UOG, and the results are alarming. So what he did was he took the university faculty from the 1995-1996 UOG catalog year working at UOG up to 2011, and were identified using catalog listings of faculty. The data, coupled with race and gender data, provides a simple estimate of promotion rates to full professor at the university. Of the 55 cases of promotion at UOG, 9 were already full professors in 95 and 96, 3 Caucasian females, 5 Caucasian males, and 1 Asian male. So from 1995 to, I'm sorry, it wasn't a 2000 study, it was a 2010 study. From 1995, 1996 through 2010, 2011, of 25 Caucasian professors, 19 were promoted and 6 were not promoted. So there was a 76% promotion rate among Caucasian professors. And minorities in this case for the race-based sample would include Chamorros, Filipinos, and other Micronesians. There were 21 professors who applied for tenure. 6 were promoted and 15 were not promoted. The minorities had a 29% promotion rate. It's a huge disparity for a university, where you would think that a university would be a place where you wouldn't see a disparity like that. You wouldn't have to worry about racial tensions.
Who allowed that to happen? How did that come here to this island?
The faculty union, and I'll explain that in just a second, because there's a contract that kind of spells out how this is allowed to happen. But the part that's even more sad is that there are people who've been in charge of the university who should have spoken up for Chamorros, for Filipinos, for other Micronesians, and they didn't. They just allowed the faculty union to continue on like this. It's actually very sad.
Who is that person?
Well, one of them would be Dr. Robert Underwood, and it's a very sad thing, you know? Like, he's a very respectable person, very smart guy. He's been known as a fighter for Chamorro rights, but when he was at the University of Guam...
Except against Michael Siniclis.
Yeah, he's totally opposed to Michael Siniclis. So then for Asians, and this was... their rates are a little better than the quote-unquote minority rates. 3 were promoted, 3 were not promoted. The promotion rate was 50% for Asian females. 2 were not promoted, 1 was promoted. The promotion rate, 2 were promoted, 1 was not promoted. The promotion rate was 66%. So the total Asian promotion rate was 56%. Micronesian males, none were promoted. None were promoted. 3 applied. The promotion rate is 0%. This is in a period of 15, 16 years. Micronesian females, 1 promoted, 5 not promoted. Promotion rate 17%. Total Micronesian promotion rate 11%. African American female, 1 not promoted, 0% promotion rate. Breaking down between Caucasian males and Caucasian females, so you begin to see the disparity in the sexes. 18 were promoted, 5 not promoted. The promotion rate for Caucasian males is 78%. Caucasian females, 1 promoted, 1 not promoted. Promotion rate 50%. Total Caucasian rate 76%. Hispanic females, 2 were not promoted. That applied, 0% promotion rate. So on the cohort, Caucasians promoted 79%, minorities promoted 32%. These are very stunning figures in this study and point to a very big racial and sexist disparity that the University of Guam, at least until the year 2011, was advocating. And you would think this is the one place where that wouldn't happen. Can we cast off my screen so that, thank you. Let me just go to the next document, 1 second. I told you about that that comment made by the faculty to WASC complaining about the tenure of minorities at the university, basically trying to block the promotion or the hiring of Chamorros, Filipinos, women, Chukis, Kasrayan, and Palawan as well, professors at the University of Guam, which is the university of this region when you think about it. There are colleges in Palau, in Saipan. I'm not sure if there's a college in Chuk, but the University of Guam is the only full-fledged land grant university in this entire region, and so it's supposed to be representative of us all, and it really is not, and it has nothing to do with merit and everything to do with the people in power at UOG having a racial motive and keeping out the people of this region from this university that is largely funded by the taxpayers of this island. Let me just open this. Hey, where did it go? Oh, there. Never mind, I'm having trouble opening it. Anyway, I was going to show you the statement in the WASC report. The next thing I want to show you answers your question about how it is that that's allowed to happen. Can we cast back to my screen? So on page 22 of the faculty union contract between the faculty union and the University of Guam, there is a provision called confidentiality that says during committee meetings, and this is where hiring is decided at UOG, all evaluative comments about an applicant's completed application package are to be confidential. Violation of this confidentiality requirement may result in a letter of censure from the committee to the offending persons, with a copy of the letter being sent to the senior vice president and the president. So here's the real life practical application of this. Dr. McNinch, over the years, through his academic research, that study that he did, plus just at being a good citizen, he has complained about the racism and the sexism at the University of Guam, and he complained to through the proper channels, right? Letting the academic vice president, the dean, the president of the university know, hey, these are bad things happening at UOG. This is the kind of thing that cannot happen at UOG. And those comments that he made, the complaint that he made, these complaints that he has made to the authorities about this, got back to the faculty union, and the faculty union censured him. They put in his personnel jacket that he was in violation of the faculty union contract because he was trying to stop racist hiring practices and sexist hiring practices that made women and basically brown faculty members victims of these policies. And this is all part of the lawsuit that Dr. McNinch lodged against the University of Guam. It's a civil rights lawsuit because he was blowing the whistle on this wrongdoing, this really, really bad stuff at UOG that no one would put up with in their workplace. This is the kind of thing that you go to the Department of Labor and you would complain about, and you would win lots of money. Or you would, if you were in the government of Guam, you would go to the Civil Service Commission and you would have your day before the commission and you would win your job back, or you would be taken off suspension, or whatever it is, and you would win a lot of money because your civil rights were violated. And then you can go to district court and all that. The problem with the University of Guam is that it doesn't answer to anybody. The legislature in the 22nd Guam legislature took the university away from the Civil Service Commission's purview. So basically the faculty union is like the end-all be-all God of all selection and review of selection of people who work at the University of Guam. And if these guys are the ones who are breaking the rules, and they're the ones who decide who is breaking the rules and who should be subject to the consequences of breaking those rules, it's like internal affairs at GPD. How do you ever actually expect them to do like an honest review of their own fucking people, you know? That's what's going on.
And at the
UOG.
Guam Election Commission.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So Ron McNinch for years has been fighting against this stuff. And there have been others who've raised this issue as well. But
they were pushed out.
Yeah, they were fired. They were embarrassed. They were professionally mutilated by the university.
Same thing with the medical board.
Yeah, exactly, Cello. Exactly. You're exactly right. And it's our own laws that do this, and our own people in positions of power who allow it to continue to happen. Now, so we talked about how Dr. McNinch brought a lawsuit against the university for violation of his civil rights. It was because, well, here's one of the reasons was he got a letter from Dr. Robert Underwood. Can we cast back to my screen? This is dated October 13, 2015, regarding interagency investigation concerning statements made in August 20, 2015 email and instant messaging on August 30, 2015. Now, this was in the wake of the Mike Ellert thing. This was before, or this was around the time that the media was starting to pick up on how bad this thing was. The university wasn't happy with Dr. McNinch for doing this. We know that there were professors, there were high-up professors in the faculty union who were basically hiding Dr. Ellert's misconduct, didn't do anything to help the victims. To this day, those victims have never received an apology from the University of Guam for its failure to protect them and to keep that sex predator away from them. To this day. So Dr. McNinch, this is 2015, at this time, there wasn't too much public pressure against the university, and so the university was allowed to just do whatever they wanted, and one of the things that they did was come down hard on Dr. Ron McNinch. So it says, Dr. McNinch, first and foremost, the university takes seriously its obligations under Title IX, Title VII, the amended Clery Act the Violence Against Women Act as amended, as well as applicable Guam law and local and federal regulations. Whatever. The university follows and complies with federal and Guam law rules and regulations. No, it wasn't. Reporting sexual harassment is protected under the law. Attendant to that is the prohibition on retaliation for any person who reports a crime under these federal statutes. No person shall receive any adverse action for reporting any such crimes, with the exception of intentional false reports of such crimes. That's the operative part of this paragraph. This is that final part of that sentence.
The real reason for this letter.
In an August 2015 email to the Faculty Senate and several administrators, you made statements about sexual harassment by male faculty toward young students, which, may I add, was substantiated by a jury in a trial setting, and that you have reported such behavior to criminal justice system for the past 18 years. On August 30, 2015, you stated in an instant messaging conversation with Mr. Anthony Uuka that the victims were ignored and that you have spoken with the victims or their families. Yeah, there's nothing false about that. He did. Dr. Minich did these things. These statements were challenged by Doctors Donald Platt and Donald Rubenstein. These are Faculty Union and Faculty Senate people. On September 16 and 17, 2015, respectively. While your right to report crimes under Title IX is without question, the veracity of your statements that you have reported crimes to the criminal justice system for the past 18 years and have spoken with the victims whom the university ignored gives a strong implication to readers that this has been a pervasive problem at the university for many years, which gives the university ample cause for concern. You should have been more fucking concerned
about the victims
for 18 years and not the implications in the media or how you're going to look in the media. What about the concern for the victims? What about, hey, if this guy's telling you that this has been happening for, if he's been telling federal authorities that it's been going on for 18 years, don't you think you want to look into that and not just say that it's not true? You know, the complaints against you are for alleged violations of the Faculty Senate's Code of Professional Conduct and the Rules, Regulations, and Procedures Manual, Article 4B, Policies and Provisions relating to collegiality, honesty, and integrity. Holy shit. These issues are separate from your right under the law to report criminal behavior without retaliation. No, it's not. They're intertwining the two issues and calling him a liar. That's what they're doing. Neither is it to provide the names, dates, and facts of those cases which you state you have reported. The issue goes to the truthfulness of your statements. This is where university policies on collegiality, honesty, and integrity apply. All right, let's stop here. Now that it's been proven that Dr. McNinch was telling the truth, where is the letter to the other professors who were on the other side of this, that they were the ones who were lying? They were the ones who were covering it up. Aren't they now? God bless you.
Thank you.
Aren't they now on the hook for violations of their policies on collegiality, honesty, and integrity? Because they're the ones who've been lying. And a court of law proved it. Due process and all. Through an interagency agreement, investigators from the Office of the Attorney General will conduct an inquiry into these issues. All right. Dr. Minich reported that Mike Ellert was a fucking rapist of students under his ward. And then the University of Guam reported him to the Attorney General for making a report of a crime to the Attorney General. What in the fuck is that? That is, it's not even bizarre. It's just so fundamentally flawed.
That's Robert Underwood for you. That's not the faculty union. That's Robert Underwood.
An OAG investigator will be in contact with you shortly. Please give your full cooperation and assistance in this regard. The university president reported one of his faculty who was standing up for the safety and welfare of the students. Reported him for what? Because he says he's lying? And then it turns out that he's not lying. He was the one guy telling the truth about everything. He was the whistleblower. And you know what? I have no idea why no one charged Dr. Underwood with violating the Whistleblower Protection Act. because this is a clear violation, a criminal violation of the Whistleblower Protection Act. And I don't know if did Dr. McNinch ever filed anything. I don't know why the Attorney General never on his or her own filed anything. But this is a clear violation of the Whistleblower Protection Act, which clearly says that if you report unethical or criminal activity going on in your agency, nothing bad can happen to you. They cannot issue any adverse action against you. They cannot sanction you. They cannot punish you for anything. Yet, for reporting crimes, Dr. Ron McNinch was punished by the university. And it's in writing.
So Mr. McNinch went through lawsuits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's going through now.
Yes.
Now he wants everybody to know.
Yes.
What's going on.
Yeah, you want to know why? Why he wants everyone to know? Because, okay, the university is saying that there's a settlement, right? And it was just $10,000. First of all, they're lying about, the university lied about the amount of money paid to the law firm of Mitch Thompson, which was the attorney that UOG hired just to deal with the McNinch civil rights case in federal district court.
Yeah. So the auditor's report is where we found how much they paid that law firm.
UOG said $80,000. The auditor said $400, almost $500,000. Yeah. So the university was just lying about how much it paid that. First of all, that's a corrupt law firm, or those are corrupt attorneys. Mitch Thompson and Todd Thompson, there's something else. They're involved in the YTK case. They're involved in the Port 7 case. They're involved in some shit. In the arbitration panel for the YTK case, the university sure did choose them right, huh? Ron McNinch didn't hire an attorney. He litigated this on his own before Magistrate Judge Joaquin Manabusin. And we played some of that for you a couple weeks ago. You know what the Magistrate Judge said? Ron McNinch is right, and his recommendation that was given to Chief Judge Ramona Magnolia, I love saying that name, from CNMI, who was the judge for this case because of a conflict that Chief Judge Francis Tydinko Gateway had, was on McNinch's side. So there was a settlement, and it wasn't for just $10,000. UOG's lying about that too. And they want everyone in the public to think that it was just settled because they didn't want to go too far. No, it was settled because UOG was wrong. It's the only reason UOG settled was because it didn't want to have to go through. If it had gone to a full trial, all of the documents would be revealed publicly, and everybody would know about, including the UOG's grantees or grantors or whatever they're called, the people who give the grants.
That puts them at risk, right?
It puts them at risk, including the Western Association of Schools and Colleges.
Of course.
They would be in severe risk. Oh, U.S. Department of Education would put them under the Title 7, whatever all that stuff was, Title 16. Their grants would be in jeopardy because of racism and sexism going on at the University of Guam that Dr. Ron McNinch uncovered. Also the violations against students' rights, the non-reporting of violence against women on campus. All of these are severe violations, federal violations that the university is on the hook for. The reason they wanted to settle this is because they never want those documents to see the light of day, because they would be in a lot of trouble. So would the Board of Regents, because they have fiduciary responsibilities under the law. Do they have any bond covenants? Do they have any current bonds? Those might be in jeopardy too because of this one case. So don't believe UOG when they say that, oh, they just settled because it ain't some little thing. They're hiding all of this. The other reason they want to hide it is because they were sanctioned by the judge. There are specific things that they need to do in order to make things right at UOG, and they never want the public to find out what those things are. The only reason they don't want the public to find out what those things are is because they don't want to be held accountable for making sure those things are done. And unless it's brought back to court at a costly rate to charge the university for contempt of court, no one will ever know that the university was not doing what it's supposed to do by the order of a federal judge. So Dr. Klein, or whatever the hell your name is, EOG president and faculty union people, I just want to guarantee you that Kandit's going to look and dig and dig and dig and find out what these sanctions are. And if we find out that you guys haven't been meeting your obligations, which we suspect you've been ignoring, you better believe we're going to make a big stink out of it. And hope that all of you land in jail for contempt of court. We hear that Judge Ramona Magnolia is not such a kind person when it comes to violating her orders. We hear that she's pretty strict and mean about things like that. So I wouldn't fuck with her. Hey, she's one brown woman you can't get down. You know? Do you want to add anything?
Nope.
Good.
That's it.
Thank you guys. We love you. Happy Saturday.
Oh, good night, Jessie Ray.
Oh, we love you, Jessie Ray Flores. And fuck you, Alan Eckley.